You've been taught to see life as a path, a journey guided by effort, morality, and fairness. Teachers, parents, and society whisper the same lullaby. Work hard, obey the rules, respect others, and life will reward you. But if you've lived long enough, you've already seen the cracks in this story. You've seen those who obey suffer in silence, while the cunning climb over them. You've seen ruthless ambition crowned with success, while selflessness is discarded in the dirt. This is the first great lie of existence, that life is governed by justice. The truth is harsher, colder, and infinitely more dangerous. Life is not a path. Life is not a moral test. Life is a game. But not just any game. It is a game where the rules are hidden, where players deceive each other, where appearances outweigh reality, and where survival depends not on virtue, but on strategy. A game where the ones who understand human nature exploit it, and the ones who don't become its victims. Machiavelli saw this with unflinching clarity. He understood that the illusions society builds around morality, fairness, and equality are nothing more than weapons to keep the masses docile. He knew that beneath the polished surface of civilization, men and women are moved by fear, desire, envy, pride, and greed, not by noble principles. And he revealed that if you can confront these forbidden truths, if you can strip away the comforting illusions, you gain an advantage most people will never possess. This is why the truths you're about to hear are forbidden. They are not printed in school textbooks. They are not whispered in polite conversation. They live in the shadows, passed down by those who have tasted power and understand its brutal mechanics. To hear them is to see the world as it really is. To accept them is to transform yourself from a pawn on the board into a player who shapes the board itself. But beware, these truths are not gentle. They are sharp, dangerous, and capable of cutting you if you are not ready to wield them. Now let us begin. These are 33 forbidden truths about the game of life. Machiavelli's hidden realities, unfiltered, unveiled, and waiting for those with the courage to see. The first forbidden truth is that most people do not want the truth. They claim they do, but they cannot bear the weight of it. The truth strips away illusions, and illusions are the comfort blankets of the human mind. Tell a man that the world is fair, and he can endure his suffering with hope. Tell him the world is cruel, indifferent, and rewards manipulation, and you steal the very story he uses to keep living. This is why most people will fight you, not for lying to them, but for daring to reveal what they already sense but cannot face. Understanding this truth changes how you deal with others. You learn to withhold, to disguise, to wrap truth in illusion, because you know the naked blade of reality is too sharp for fragile minds. Machiavelli himself warned that rulers must cloak their actions in virtue, even when they act in ruthlessness, because the people cannot tolerate the sight of raw power. To master the game of life, you must grasp this. Truth is not a gift to others. It is a weapon, and you decide when and how to unsheath it. The second forbidden truth is that morality is often a disguise for power. People will claim they want justice, equality, or kindness. But behind these words lies hunger. The hunger for control. The man who preaches generosity often wants to bind you in chains of obligation. The woman who demands fairness often seeks to tilt the scales in her favor. Leaders use morality as a tool to make others sacrifice while they themselves feast. You will notice that those who demand morality most loudly are often the least moral in private. They wear the mask, not because they believe in the ideal, but because it gives them influence. Once you see this, you can no longer take moral demands at face value. You begin to ask, who benefits from this rule? Whose power is preserved by this virtue? The answer will tell you everything. In the game of life, morality is rarely what it seems. The third forbidden truth is that appearances matter more than reality. The strong, silent man who appears confident is treated as if he is powerful, even if inside he is filled with doubt. The leader who looks decisive is obeyed, even when his decisions are flawed. The attractive liar is believed over the plain-speaking truth-teller. This is the cruelty of perception. Reality moves slowly. Appearances strike instantly. Machiavelli taught that it is not necessary to be truly virtuous, only to appear so. In life, the mask is stronger than the face beneath it. If you want influence, you must craft your image as carefully as a painter crafts a canvas. The world will not look deeper unless forced. Understand this, and you can win battles without ever unsheathing your sword. Ignore it, and you will be crushed by those who mastered the art of appearances. The fourth forbidden truth is that loyalty is temporary. People will swear their devotion to you in moments of gain, but loyalty is bound to benefit, not to sentiment. A man is loyal to you as long as you provide him with advantage, security, or recognition. The moment your value fades, so does his loyalty. Machiavelli advised rulers never to rest on promises of devotion, but to bind loyalty with fear and necessity. In your own life, you must understand that loyalty is conditional. It shifts like sand beneath your feet. Do not waste energy on expecting eternal devotion. Instead, focus on creating relationships where others need you more than you need them. That is the only form of loyalty you can trust. Not love, not words, but necessity. The fifth forbidden truth is that weakness invites predators. The world does not pity weakness. It exploits it. Show too much need, and people will use it against you. Reveal your insecurities, and they will become tools in the hands of others. Display desperation, and you will attract those who thrive on control. In the game of life, strength is not optional. It is protection. This does not mean you must always be the strongest in the room, but you must never appear defenseless. Even an illusion of strength is enough to keep predators at bay. Machiavelli warned that rulers who appear weak invite rebellion, while those who project force inspire obedience. In your own life, understand this: you do not always need to fight, but you must never look like prey. The sixth forbidden truth is that envy drives more human behavior than admiration. People may smile at your success, but inside, many seethe with resentment. They do not wish to see you rise too far above them, for your ascent reminds them of their stagnation. This is why victories often bring isolation rather than celebration. Machiavelli knew that envy corrodes loyalty, that a ruler too successful provokes conspiracies from within. In your life, you must learn to manage envy. Sometimes that means disguising your victories. Sometimes it means sharing enough crumbs to keep others calm. And sometimes it means embracing their resentment and letting it fuel your distance. But never be naive. Those who clap the loudest may be sharpening their knives in secret. The seventh forbidden truth is that power is never given. It is taken. No one will hand you control out of kindness. No one will offer you respect because you deserve it. The world operates on pressure, on force, on the ability to impose your will. Machiavelli argued that men only act out of necessity, never pure goodwill. If you want power in your own life, you must seize it. That may mean demanding recognition, stepping into spaces others told you were off limits, or cutting off those who sap your strength. Waiting for permission is surrender. Power belongs to those who claim it before others dare. The eighth forbidden truth is that fear is more reliable than love. Love is fragile, bound to feelings that shift with time and circumstance. Fear, however, is rooted in survival. It creates caution, respect, and restraint. Machiavelli famously argued that it is safer to be feared than loved, if one cannot be both. This principle applies not only to rulers, but to everyday life. If people fear the consequences of crossing you, they will tread carefully. If they merely love you, they will cross you the moment love fades. Fear protects boundaries, while love alone exposes them. Understand this, and you will never confuse affection with security again. The ninth forbidden truth is that fairness is a myth. People cling to the idea that fairness governs the world, that good deeds will be rewarded and wrongs will be corrected. But if you examine history, politics, or even daily life, you see the opposite. The cruel often go unpunished. The manipulative often prosper. The weak often suffer in silence. Fairness is not a principle of life. It is a demand of the powerless. It is a cry from those who cannot win by force, and therefore beg for rules that restrain the strong. Machiavelli understood this well. Fairness is not natural law, it is a construction. To survive, you must abandon the expectation of fairness. You must act not as if the world owes you justice, but as if it owes you nothing at all. Only then can you move freely, unchained from disappointment. The 10th forbidden truth is that honesty is rarely rewarded. Society praises honesty in words, but in practice, people punish it. Speak the truth about someone's weakness, and they will hate you, not thank you. Expose uncomfortable realities, and you will be shunned, not celebrated. The world thrives on illusions, and the truth is often too sharp to bear. This is why deception survives, not because it is noble, but because it is effective. Machiavelli argued that rulers must know how to lie, because people prefer pleasing illusions over painful reality. In your own life, understand that honesty is a tool, not a virtue. Use it when it benefits you, and disguise it when it does not. Brutal honesty may feel noble, but it is rarely strategic. The 11th forbidden truth is that most friendships are built on utility. We like to believe our bonds with others are rooted in love, loyalty, or deep connection. But beneath the surface, friendships survive because of exchange. You offer value in status, in entertainment, in assistance, in access, and in return, you receive something. Remove the exchange, and many friendships wither. Machiavelli advised rulers to be cautious with friendships because they are fragile when tested. In your own life, do not be disillusioned when people disappear in your moments of weakness. Recognize that friendship, like loyalty, is conditional. Value those who stand with you when you have nothing, but never assume they are the majority. The 12th forbidden truth is that people are motivated more by self-interest than by principle. You may believe that men and women act out of loyalty to ideals, justice, freedom, compassion. But in truth, those ideals survive only when they align with personal gain. A man will cry for justice when he is oppressed, but ignore it when he benefits from oppression. A woman will speak of compassion until her own survival is at stake. Machiavelli noted that men act for themselves above all else, and that any ruler who ignores this is doomed. In life, expect self-interest to dominate. If you understand this, you stop being surprised when people betray ideals the moment it becomes inconvenient. The 13th forbidden truth is that strength creates its own morality. People do not follow rules because they believe in them, but because they fear the power behind them. Laws mean nothing without enforcement. Morality means nothing without consequences. Machiavelli taught that power creates order, not virtue. In your life, this means you cannot rely on principles to defend you. If you want boundaries respected, you must enforce them. If you want justice in your world, you must create the strength to impose it. Weakness wrapped in morality is ignored. Strength wrapped in silence is obeyed. The 14th forbidden truth is that freedom is always an illusion. People speak of liberty, but even in so-called free societies, individuals are bound by invisible chains. They are enslaved by debt, by obligation, by social approval, by the fear of standing alone. They may believe they are free, but their choices are shaped by pressures they do not see. Machiavelli understood that men will surrender freedom willingly if it means safety or comfort. This is why leaders can strip away liberties while claiming to protect the people. In your own life, understand that freedom is never absolute. It is relative, and it must be fought for constantly. The only true freedom is internal, the strength to refuse illusions, and accept the costs of independence. The 15th forbidden truth is that manipulation is the language of survival. Everyone manipulates, whether they admit it or not. A child cries to gain attention. A partner uses guilt to secure affection. A politician frames lies as promises. Manipulation is not a rare evil, it is a universal instinct. Machiavelli insisted that rulers must learn this language if they wish to endure, for those who refuse are destroyed by those who embrace it. In life, manipulation surrounds you. To pretend it does not exist is to invite defeat. To study it, master it, and wield it carefully is to equip yourself with the most effective weapon in the game of life. The 16th forbidden truth is that fear of loss governs more decisions than hope of gain. Human beings are more terrified of losing what they already have than they are motivated to achieve something new. This is why men cling to miserable jobs, why women stay in hollow relationships, why entire populations submit to oppressive rulers. Machiavelli knew that fear binds people more effectively than love or hope. In your own life, recognize that fear of loss controls not only others, but you as well. To rise above it, you must confront the truth. Everything can be taken from you. Only when you accept this do you act without chains. And when you understand this about others, you can control them by threatening what they fear to lose most. The 17th forbidden truth is that betrayal is inevitable. Sooner or later, every person will place their own survival above their loyalty to you. It may not always be dramatic. Sometimes it's as small as a broken promise. Other times, it's a knife in the back when you need them most. Betrayal is not the exception. It is the rule of human relationships. Machiavelli observed that men are fickle, driven by need and fear, and that even the most trusted ally will abandon you when the winds shift. The wise player of life expects betrayal and prepares for it. Trust sparingly, protect yourself always, and never be surprised when devotion turns to desertion. Those who survive betrayal are those who never believed loyalty was permanent in the first place. The 18th forbidden truth is that reputation outweighs intention. You may mean well, but if others perceive you as weak, foolish, or unreliable, that is the reality they will act upon. Conversely, even if you harbor selfish or ruthless motives, if your reputation shines with strength, wisdom, or generosity, people will treat you accordingly. Machiavelli emphasized that rulers must guard their reputation above all else, for it determines whether men fear, follow, or conspire against them. In your own life, your reputation is the currency of power. Guard it as if it were gold. Never allow careless words or reckless acts to tarnish it. What you are inside matters little compared to what others believe you are. The 19th forbidden truth is that most people crave to be led. They may speak of independence, but in reality, the burden of making decisions terrifies them. Leadership requires clarity, responsibility, and the courage to face consequences, qualities most lack. This is why masses rally behind strong voices, why they seek authority even when it exploits them, why they obey rather than question. Machiavelli understood that people are like sheep, restless until shepherded. The key lesson for you is this: if you do not learn to lead yourself, someone else will do it for you, and their path will not serve your interests. Leadership is not a luxury, it is survival. Either you command, or you are commanded. The 20th forbidden truth is that love makes you vulnerable. To love deeply is to hand someone else a weapon, trusting they will not use it against you. But history and experience show us that people often do. Love clouds judgment, blinds reason, and creates dependency. Machiavelli warned rulers to be cautious of excessive affection, for it makes them weak in the eyes of rivals. In your personal life, this does not mean you must abandon love entirely, but you must recognize its danger. Love without awareness enslaves you. Love with awareness strengthens you. The difference is whether you let emotion erase your boundaries. Never forget, The same person who loves you today may use your devotion as leverage tomorrow. The 21st forbidden truth is that comfort breeds weakness. The more people sink into safety, the softer they become. Struggle sharpens, comfort dulls. Civilizations fall not when they are attacked from without, but when they rot from within, made lazy, indulgent, and blind by prosperity. Machiavelli knew that hardship builds strength, while ease corrupts it. In your own life, beware the trap of constant comfort. It lulls you into dependency, strips away your edge, and makes you pray for those still hardened by struggle. Choose discomfort often, for it is the whetstone of strength. Those who remain sharp in times of plenty are the ones who dominate when the tide turns. The 22nd forbidden truth is that people respect what they fear losing more than what they freely possess. A gift given often loses its value, while something withheld grows in worth. This is the paradox of human desire. Scarcity commands respect. Abundance invites neglect. Machiavelli observed that rulers who are too generous lose authority, while those who make their favors scarce increase demand. In your own life, understand that being always available, always giving, always open diminishes your value. The world does not respect what is easily had. Learn to withdraw, to deny, to create distance. In scarcity lies power. The 23rd forbidden truth is that masks are more powerful than faces. We like to believe that authenticity rules the world, but in reality, people are drawn to illusion. They do not want to see your doubts, your fears, your chaos. They want the mask you craft, the image of confidence, mystery, or authority. Machiavelli insisted that rulers must master the art of disguise, showing one thing while being another. In your life, this does not mean you must live as a fraud, but you must learn to mask strategically. The world rewards actors, not confessions. Those who wear their inner chaos on their sleeves are consumed by it. Those who control their mask control the stage. The 24th forbidden truth is that peace is always temporary. Human beings are restless creatures, driven by ambition, envy, and desire. Even when order is established, seeds of conflict begin to grow. Rivals plot, alliances shift, desires clash. Machiavelli understood that a ruler must never be lulled into complacency by peace, for beneath the surface, storms are always forming. The same is true in your life. Times of calm are not the end of struggle. They are the preparation for the next battle. Expect conflict, prepare for it, and you will never be caught by surprise. The man who mistakes peace for permanence is the man destroyed when chaos inevitably returns. The 25th forbidden truth is that most people are far more attached to their chains than they are to their freedom. They might complain about their job, their obligations, their stagnant relationships, but when offered a way out, they hesitate, retreat, or sabotage themselves. Why? Because chains provide familiarity, and familiarity breeds comfort, even when it's suffocating. A Machiavellian mind sees this not as weakness to scorn, but as a fundamental law of control. If you want power, offer people a slightly looser chain, rather than breaking it altogether. They will thank you for their freedom, while still remaining bound. True freedom terrifies the masses. It demands responsibility. And responsibility is the one weight they are most unwilling to carry. The 26th forbidden truth is that morality is often nothing more than a bargaining chip in the game of appearances. People champion moral causes not because they care, but because it earns them approval, status, or leverage. A man parades his virtue because it makes him look safe. A ruler declares himself just because it discourages rebellion. Yet behind closed doors, decisions are made on the basis of gain and survival, not ethics. To master this truth is to understand the dual game of morality. Play it outwardly when it buys you reputation. Discard it inwardly when it threatens your advantage. Those who confuse the theater of morality with its substance will forever be outmaneuvered by those who see through the act. The 27th forbidden truth is that alliances are rarely about loyalty. They are about aligned interests. People swear allegiance when your path benefits theirs, but the moment that alignment breaks, betrayal follows. History is littered with kings brought down by their own ministers, generals abandoned by their soldiers, and lovers discarded when the advantages dried up. The Machiavellian does not lament betrayal. He anticipates it. He structures his alliances not on sentiment, but on leverage, ensuring that the other side always has more to lose by abandoning him than by remaining faithful. In life, loyalty is not given, it is engineered through necessity. The 28th forbidden truth is that everyone has a mask, and behind every mask lies another. Human interaction is a hall of mirrors, each face reflecting a carefully constructed persona. What you see in others is never the raw self. It is always the curated version they want you to see. The cheerful colleague hides resentment. The confident leader disguises fear. The faithful lover conceals doubt. A Machiavellian mind does not take these masks at face value. Instead, it looks for the cracks, the subtle tremors in voice, the hesitation in gesture, the inconsistency in words. Truth is never handed to you. It is extracted from beneath the layers of disguise. The 29th forbidden truth is that time destroys all power unless it is actively reinforced. Influence is like a flame. Unattended, it flickers and dies. Too many men achieve power once and then grow complacent, assuming their throne is eternal. But history is merciless. Today's ruler is tomorrow's relic. The Machiavellian understands that power must be refreshed constantly, through new victories, new strategies, new demonstrations of strength. The crowd is fickle. They forget yesterday's triumphs and demand to see fresh proof. Rest on your laurels, and your laurels become your coffin. The 30th forbidden truth is that perception is stronger than reality. People will believe an illusion if it is repeated enough, if it is dramatized with confidence, if it offers them a story they prefer over the cold facts. Reality is heavy. Illusions are intoxicating. A Machiavellian does not waste time trying to impose reality on people who do not want it. He crafts illusions that serve his ends, projecting certainty even when uncertainty rules, projecting virtue even when vice guides his hand. The masses rarely want the truth. They want a comforting lie delivered with authority. If you master perception, reality bends to your advantage. The 31st forbidden truth is that those who refuse to play the game still end up playing it, only badly. The man who claims to reject politics at work is still judged politically. The woman who claims to disdain manipulation is still manipulated by sharper minds. Life is a battlefield, whether you consent to it or not. To opt out is not to transcend the game, but to lose by default. The Machiavellian accepts this without resentment. He plays consciously, strategically, and with ruthless intent, while others drift as pawns across the board. Denial is not strength. Denial is submission under a different name. The 32nd forbidden truth is that death levels all men, but the memory of power outlives the man who wielded it. This is why rulers carve their names into stone, why conquerors rewrite history, why thinkers etch their words into books that outlast their flesh. Power is not just what you hold in life, it is what echoes after you. The Machiavellian does not cling to immortality. He knows his body will decay, but he seeks to ensure his influence lives on in the structures, the systems, and the ideas he leaves behind. To ignore legacy is to die twice, once in the body and again in obscurity. The 33rd and final forbidden truth is that the game of life has no referee, no ultimate justice, no cosmic balance sheet. There is only the interplay of strength, cunning, desire, and fear. The man who expects fairness is crushed. The man who expects order is disappointed. But the one who accepts the chaos and learns to shape it becomes untouchable. To play the game is to accept its brutality, its illusions, its betrayals, and still to move forward with cold precision. This is the last truth, and the most merciless one. Life is not about winning according to rules. It is about ensuring the rules never bind you in the first place. And there you have it, 33 forbidden truths, carved from the marrow of Machiavellian thought. If you've made it this far, you already know why most people will never hear these truths, let alone live by them. They want comfort, you want clarity. They want illusion, you want strategy. Remember this, the game of life is not kind, but it rewards the mind that sees through its masks. If you want to rise, you must abandon the lies that chain the masses and embrace the discipline of thought that unsettles them. This has been Tactic Mind, where we don't whisper sweet lies to make you feel good. We cut open the game and hand you the pieces. Now it's up to you. Play them or be played.